Hello. Right, we'll move on to coordinate geometry 1 using the Aquila Maths chapter 10. Right, coordinate geometry 1. And this is our mark 1 because it's the first video. Right, so coordinate geometry 1 is on straight line. It's about straight lines. Right, so of straight lines. So this is a straight line. This is a straight line, horizontal lines, all forms of lines. So we'll be looking at lines. Right, the straight line. Right, so we'll be learning about straight line, the mathematics of straight lines. Right, let's move on. So any points in the P in the xy plane can be described by an ordered pair of numbers, where x is the x coordinate or abscissa, right? And y is the y coordinate or ordinate. For example, the point Q, which is 3, 4. Is this visible? I don't think it's so visible. You get a different pen? Yeah, I'll try it. Let's see. So we have Q, which is 3, 4. So these are coordinates in the xy plane. This represents x, and this represents y. With x on the ordinate, x on the abscissa or the y coordinate, then the y on the ordinate. Let's see. So when we draw the xy plane, this is x, this is y, this is x. So when you take any point on this plane, for example, this point, right, it has, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to draw this point 3Q, we'll count 3 on the x, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on the y, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll trace their intersection. Right, we'll trace their intersection. So this is point Q. And then it makes sense this way, right? It's very easy. And then whenever we have points, right? So this is a point, this is another point, this is another point. When we join 2 points, whenever we join 2 points, we form a line, right? So points make a line. If we have 2 points, we join them to form a line. So our first topic, or our first subtopic in coordinate geometry about lines, is the length of a line, right? Also known as the magnitude of a line, right? So the length or distance between 2 points, because we explained that if we have 2 points, then they form a line, right? So the length of this line, so basically this part is just the most important part. So we can clean the side of, wait, it didn't work. We have to, right, these are the points. So the distance between 2 points forms the distance of the line itself, right? It forms the magnitude. Call it the length of the line, or the distance between 2 points. Right, it's the distance between 2 points. If A is this, and then B are 2 points, so how do we find out how long the distance between 2 points are? So assuming we have 2 points A with coordinates x1, y1, then we have B with coordinates x2, y2. Then the length of the straight line joining A and B, right? A and B are two different points in the xy coordinates. Alright, if you want the distance, let's say this is A and this is B. Right, so let me clean. Right, if you want the distance between these 2 points, how do we calculate? How do we know the distance between 2 points? So if A has these points and then B has these points, then the formula for finding AB, or the magnitude of AB, represented as AB represent and put in bars, right? Or absolute sign, absolute bars. I don't know whatever we'll call them. Represents the magnitude of line AB, right? It's not a product, it's the magnitude of line AB, right? So A is a point, B is a point. When 2 points come together, they form a line, right? So AB is a line. When we have, let's say, A, B, C, then we know this is a line, this is another line. So that forms a shape, right? This A, this B, this C, that forms a triangle. Right, so if we have A and B, then it forms a line. If you want to find the magnitude of this line, formula for doing so is given by x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Right. You should know that we could interchange x and y because the magnitude of AB will be the same as magnitude of BA, right? It means the distance from here, let me get it ready. The distance from B to A is always going to be the same as the distance from A to B. It's not going to change. That means AB and BA will be the same. So it means I can also represent it as AB is equal to x1 minus x2 plus y1 minus y2. All I have to put in mind is whenever x1 comes first, y1 should come first, right? And when x2 comes first, y2 should come first there. So the values here should correspond. This and 2 should correspond. You cannot bring y2 here and then bring y1 here, right? So that's the main idea. So the distance between 2 points is given by that. It is obtained by applying Pythagoras theory to the right angle triangle in the figure below. Right. So the idea here is Pythagoras theory. Right. We can draw a triangle here, right, and then a triangle here. Find the magnitude of this line, and that becomes the magnitude of our. Right. So let's take an example. Let's see how this formula is used in example 1. In example 1, find the length of the joining. So the key word here is length, which means you are going to use a magnitude formula of the line joining A and B. So we are finding the magnitude of A, B. So we are going to use x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. So let's take x1 to be 1, then y1, then x2, then y2. Perfect. So y1 is 1, x2 is 4, and then 3 minus 7 squared. Right, so the square root or the distance between A and B is 5 units. Because they didn't give a specific unit, you just choose units. Let's take example 2. Let's take example 2. Find the length of the line joining P and Q. So we are just looking for PQ. So taking x1, y1, x2, y2. Then we have -1, -4 squared plus -3 -9 squared. That's 25 plus 144. The square root of this is 13, so 13 minutes. So you can try example 3, then you can try example 4. In example 4, we've been given S, a point in a Cartesian plane. A point P moves in a line such that PS is equal to PR. Find the equation of the locus of P. So PS is equal to PR. So we square both sides to get rid of the square root. So we now have this. Perfect. We have the same thing here, then here. So we can get rid of that one too. And then we can continue with when we expand, there is x squared, the x squared here. We get rid of that. This plus this gives us 30. It's 128. 30.